History Channel.
Generally, when people think of ocean sounds, they think of something relaxing. The marine noises in our next story are anything but. Let's see why an entire commercial fishing team was shaken by what they heard echoing across the waves. August 2021, the North Atlantic Ocean. A Massachusetts fishing vessel makes its way through the night when the crew begins to hear an eerie noise. One of the fishermen pulls out his camera and records this.
I hear him.
The camera pans across the Black Ocean.
Where's she at?
Then the haunting screams of something off in the distance.
What the is that noise, bro? Oh my God.
When the video hit social media, the first obvious theory was a whale song. But many questioned if such sounds could ever be heard this clearly above the water.
Oh my God.
Eric Grunhauser says others speculated that it was the cry of the legendary sirens of Greek myth, whose song could seduce sailors to their doom.
With only 5% of our oceans having been fully explored, is it possible that sirens of Greek myth are still out there on some lonely, craggy rock waiting to be discovered?
Oh my God.
When it comes to ghost ships, nobody beats Japan. For the past several years, hundreds of boats filled with rotting corpses have mysteriously washed up on western Japanese shores. Spooky, right? Items found on board led investigators to believe these boats belong to defectors or desperate fishermen from North Korea, all of whom lack the proper supplies to survive. Let's see what our experts think about this oceanic oddity.
Even a trained opera singer would have trouble making a frequency this high from the soprano range.
Oh my God.
So he decides to test the sound against something more mechanical, exploring the possibility that perhaps they were hearing another ship or even their own.
Comparing the sound to examples of hydraulic machinery on a ship, we have some similar frequency characteristics and some plausible connection between the two. But we don't see an example that exactly matches, so we can't really guarantee that the sound in the example recording is from a mechanical source.
But before we say it's a mythical siren,
Oh my God.
Shay Steingass brings the conversation back to whales, but not in a way you might expect.
Alaska is known as a biodiversity hotspot for whales. What I think we're hearing here has only been documented in a couple dozen individuals of humpback whales, specifically in Alaska. And I think this might be an example of collaborative feeding.
Collaborative feeding is when whales use vocalizations and bubbles from their blowholes to trap and stun fish for feeding. But how can this be heard above water?
The frequency of sound doesn't actually change between water and air. So we can hear noises and they would sound the same to us on land or on a boat as they do in the water.
To double check this theory, we had Rob Maher run humpback whale sounds through his spectrogram, and sure enough,
The recordings with a hydrophone underwater of the humpback whale have very consistent frequency with what's observed in the example recording. And characteristics of the sound seem to match up.
Our verdict? Our experts agree. What we are hearing is a very rare example of humpback whale vocalizations. But that doesn't mean there aren't any ghost ships or sirens out there. So make sure you're prepared to batten down those hats.